Good morning, my name is Angel. I'm from Science Stream. The negative side that I noticed from math is sometimes the material is not from the basic theory or the basic formula, so that I often don't understand the ways and how to get the number. And also, I think above all, the material is so hard and I haven't learned it before and too very for me, so sometimes it's still confusing to learn for so many things in such a period of time. The positive side is I have to learn for so many things in a short time, therefore I often confuse when I did the tutorial or sample paper. But I'm so lucky to have my friends who always support each other when doing the tutorial. But if I'm still confused, I will ask Wendy to re-explain the question that I still don't understand. I'm a quite shy person, so that I always ask my friends to join me when I ask for consultation time. And Sir Wendy always helpful to re-explain the question that I still don't understand, even though he already explained it in class. I would also thank Sir Wendy for not giving up on me and keeps cheering me up even though I'm not good at math, and so that I will still do my best even though I'm still panicking when I did the exam. Overall, I feel so satisfied with everything, and thankfully the consultation time can be done with just a friend, so that I will not be shy to ask consultation time, and I also will not feel shy only to ask in front of Sir Wendy and my friend, rather than I have to ask in class. My overall journey in term 1 and term 2 honestly is very tiring, and I sometimes cannot join my old friends' school when they invite me to hang out together because I need to do homework and in the weekend. I usually do the homework in the weekend because in the weekday I already feel tired after the class, so that I only do a little homework in the weekday and I will continue it in the weekend. But I also very happy to be in these societies because I tend to be more independent, where I need to be able to ask the teacher for consultation time or after class if I still don't understand about the material. I'm also lucky to have friends that can help each other in every subjects that we don't understand, especially in math and physics. I think I already more used to the Uniprep schedule in the term 2 rather than term 1, because in term 1 I'm still shocked by everything and this still feels new because I haven't graduated from the high school. In my point of view, even though I rarely ask for a consultation time to Sir Wendy still help me a lot to be a better person and to be better in math. Because he always cheers me up by saying that I know you can do it, and that feels so great for me. And I feel like because of that words, I feel like I cannot giving up even though I'm not feel strong enough in math. And he also giving us time to share like some motivation quotes or maybe something that we like, so that I feel better when I listening to my friends cheering each other up or maybe share what they like, and during the leisure time what they did. And I feel like the class will be nice to have that motivation quotes all the time. Thank you for everything, sir. I really appreciate it.
Hi, this is my reflection video for math. Starting with any of the negative things is that I actually don't really have any negative things to say about the math teacher. I think sometimes there is you already expect some basic theory or formulas that we should already know. And sometimes I don't know it, but that is my fault because I joined Uni Prep Foundation Studies too early, and it is very fixable for me to just ask, but sometimes I get too shy. But other than that, I think there are no more negatives. For positives, I think there are a lot of positive things to say. You are very open and welcoming about having extra lessons after class. If you have any troubles, we should directly go to you. And I like having the assurance that if I am having any troubles, that I can just easily contact you anytime. And another positive thing is that your lessons are very understandable. Even me as a beginner in almost every one of the topics we've learned, I get the gist of it and understand it. And if I just studied more, I think I would be efficient at it. That is it about the negative and positives. So about math and foundation studies in general, for me it was very difficult to adapt on the level of difficulty in the foundation studies. It was a lot, if not all, new topics for me that I've never learned before. But overall, I think that I signed up for this, and because of the teacher and the pacing of what he does, I think that I did my best, and hopefully I can leave uni prep without any regrets. And that is all for my reflection video. Thank you.
Sometimes for me, Mr. is too much talking. Maybe it's because I'm exhausted and want to get through the class as quickly as possible, because usually math class is always at the ending of the day. But however, you always remind us of things like doing tutorial and being careful not to make a silly mistake when we exam. Not only that, but you also provide us with a detailed explanation as well as some critical remark. And I'm grateful to have you as my teacher. In terms of studying math, in term 1, there is a syllabus that I study in my former school, so it's not like a new thing for me. However, it's not very extensive. In term 2 is the same, but there is a lot of new material for me, so it was difficult at first, but after some time I can do it well, and I also looking for a good math exam result and a good GPA too.
Today I want to talk about my experience in math studies in uni prep. Let's start with my experience, the whole experience from beginning of term to the end of term, semester 1 to semester 2. I'd say that in semester 1, I was able to do the math term pretty well because most of the lessons I already learned from my high school. So all I need is to refresh and review the materials that I learned, and I also did uh, most of the tutorial, most if not all of the tutorial. I tried my best to do it all, so I was able to go through semester 1 pretty well. And then in semester 2, it was more difficult because semester 2 had some of the lessons I also learned, but they were, frankly, I had some difficulties on them, and some of the materials I haven't even learned before. So that's one of the reasons why my second term result is not as great as semester 1, but I try my best by reviewing the materials again, redoing, and also doing the tutorials as best as I can. And I believe that Sir Wendy is great. He's a great math teacher, and he tries to urge us to do all the tutorials so that we can understand the lessons well. And not only that, I believe he explains the materials very well. He explains it slowly and make sure all of the students understands, and he always stops and asks for questions. So it really helps, and by giving us freedom to make our own choice whether to do the tutorial or not, he also teaches us how to be diligent, and give us independence. So it also can help us learn to be more mature. And I guess if I were to nitpick about something, it'd be that it may be my own opinion, but I think when Sir Wendy discussed the solution, I believe it may be a little quick for me, and my suggestion is that Sir Wendy tries to slow down the explanation. It's not that I'm confused, but I can be quite a slow learner, so sometimes I need to recheck and relook at the question again, relook at the solution again to understand it. But that's probably just me. So thank you for listening to the video.
For negatives, I don't really have much to say. The only thing that I can think of that could be negative is the fact that you tell us to do all of the tutorial. But I wouldn't call this negative, as the reasoning behind it is something that I understand as it's for it to get even better. And the fact that it's not mandatory also helps support that. Positive, the way you teach and explain things is very clear and easy to understand, for me at least. And the fact that you always put our safety and health first, especially during the pandemic, is something that I think everyone can agree that it's something that everyone can appreciate, and definitely a positive. And for suggestions, I don't have anything as well, as like I said, the only negative I could think of was the tutorial, but that's not really a negative either. Um, Personally, I think the way you teach is currently is already really good, and no, there's nothing obviously wrong with it. But my experience with math during foundation, second term is much more difficult compared to first term. Of course, it's gonna be like that, but also because of the fact first term I had at least some idea before going into the topics we went through in term one. But term two, most of it is completely new to me. But your but the way you explain things has really helped me, as even though I still forget a lot, the way your explanations really help me understand and remember the things that I forget much better.
Hello, my name is Jeremy, and today I'm going to talk about the math in Foundation Studies and Mr. Randy himself as the math teacher. So first of all, I'm going to start with the math subject in this Foundation Studies. So in my stream, which is the commerce stream, we have economics, English, math, accounting, computing, and business law as the subject. And math will play a big role in this foundation studies, especially for your GPA, for your final GPA. And the math subject here may not be as easy as you thought, or you think that the math here will be very easy and you can just not study and expect to get high grades. But the real thing is you cannot underestimate the math subject in the foundation studies, especially the topics, because you have a lot of topics for term 1 and term 2. Of course, you cannot underestimate every subject in this foundation study, but the main thing is you really cannot underestimate math, because for other subjects you still can not study and you still can get good grades, unlike math. So yeah, if you cannot pass, if you cannot pass, or you get bad grades for the term 1, you cannot expect too much for term 2. You really cannot expect much. Especially you already failed from term 1 and you don't know the basic or basic topics from term 1. So because term 2 will need basic from the term 1 materials or topics. And now I'm going to talk about Mr. Wendy as a math teacher. Mr. Wendy is a great teacher. He's a great guy that someone can talk to, and he'll give you advices or tips or suggestions for you to grow in this foundation studies. He will give you the best suggestions that he think is the best for you, and what you need to do is just to follow his instructions or his suggestions, and you'll be good for this foundation studies, especially the math. And to be honest, I don't see any negative sides from Mr. Wendy, and even though there are some negative things from Mr. Wendy, personally I did not see his negative side in this foundation studies. And he's just a great teacher. He knows the best for you, and he'll do his best for you in order for you to succeed this foundation studies, especially in the math subjects. And again, to be honest, I don't have any suggestions for Mr. Randy, because what he did to me, the suggestions, the tips, and like the instructions he told me to do is the best thing he can, is already the best suggestions he already can give you. So I don't have any suggestions because it's already good it's already very good. And yeah, for the math subject, as long as you follow the instructions of Mr. Wendy, as long as you do the tutorials, as long as you have many practices, you listen to him, you'll just be fine. You'll just be fine for the math subjects, and especially for the. And if you're really good for the math subjects, you'll also be good for all of the other subjects. Thank you.
Hi, this is my video regarding math. So, firstly, starting from negative and positive things about Mr. Wendy as my math teacher. So, I think I can definitely say a lot of positive things about you, Mr. Wendy. Firstly, I think that you're able to deliver the contents and the materials really well, and you can teach it thoroughly and in a way that helps us understand how to do the questions, how to how to do it step by step and understand the overall topic. Another positive thing I can say is that you, whenever like I have a question, whether it's in class or after class, I think you're willing to answer, and that your answer really helped me clarify things that are so unclear, or like help me understand the content and the topics more clearly. Yeah, and another positive thing is that I think that you really motivate and support us as students in order to improve and do better each term. I think that those are the positive things, and of course there are many more. Negative things, I don't have anything negative, because I think that you portray what a good teacher is like. So yeah. Secondly, suggestions that I have, I don't really have like a lot of like any suggestions. So lastly, about math and foundation, I think it's not a secret that math is one of the hardest subjects, especially for me personally. I think that math is not my strongest suit, and especially in foundation studies, a lot of the topics is something that I haven't learned or even heard of. So I think that it's quite challenging, but the tutorials, although there are a lot of like the questions in the tutorials, and sometimes it may be tiring to do, but I think that the tutorial questions really help me remember how to do each step, really help to like overall understand what the topic is like and get used to it. I think that's all that I have to say about math and you as a teacher. So yeah, I would just like to say thank you for teaching us this past 2 terms, and yeah.